Introducing the reigning world champion fighting tonight out of the blue corner, wearing silver and black, and weighing in officially at 175 pounds, hailing from St. Petersburg, Russia, Dmitry Bivol. Early in 2023, Bivol delivered what many boxing fans are already calling an early contender for Fight of the Year. In a career-defining moment, Bivol cemented himself as the undisputed world light heavyweight champion by defeating his fellow countryman, Artur Beterbiev. The judges scored the fight 117-111, 117-111, and 116-112 in favor of Bivol, a unanimous decision that was as mind-blowing as it was deserved. This fight had been billed as a 50-50 contest, with many predicting that both fighters had equal chances of winning. However, Bivol once again showed why he should never be considered an underdog in any light heavyweight bout. His performance against Beterbiev was a masterclass in boxing, proving that Bivol is not just one of the best in the division, but a true force to be reckoned with on the global stage. Entering the ring with 23 wins, 12 by knockout, Bivol faced an undefeated Beterbiev who boasted 20 wins, all by knockout. Beterbiev's power was his most talked-about weapon, but many had underestimated his technical skill. Early in the fight, Bivol established his dominance, taking center stage and using his superior footwork to keep Beterbiev at bay. His jab was on point, landing frequently and precisely, setting the tone for the rounds to come. Bivol's movement was impeccable, and his defense remained solid throughout the fight. Beterbiev, known for his aggressive style and heavy hands, did not make it easy for Bivol, landing several hard shots to the body. But Bivol's strategy avoiding prolonged exchanges and sticking to a game plan of distance and timing was the key to his success. The first round saw both fighters feeling each other out. Bivol, controlling the center of the ring, relied on his jab to maintain control, while Beterbiev tried to push forward, seeking an opening. It was clear that neither fighter wanted to take unnecessary risks early on. However, Beterbiev's punches, particularly his body shots, showed that he was aiming to wear Bivol down as the fight progressed. The second round saw a shift in momentum, with Beterbiev beginning to assert himself more. He ramped up the aggression, trading punches with Bivol in an intense back and forth. For every shot Bivol landed, Beterbiev had a counter ready. Beterbiev's strategy of waiting for Bivol to open up before countering worked well in this round, and the scores were level once again. As the fight moved into the third round, Beterbiev continued to build on his momentum. He took control of the center of the ring at times, firing off counterpunches with increasing frequency. His power was evident, and it seemed that Bivol might be in trouble. However, Bivol's calm composure never wavered, and his movement allowed him to avoid the worst of Beterbiev's attacks. By the fourth round, Bivol had made the necessary adjustments, and he began to regain control. His corner's instructions seemed to reinvigorate him, and he was now able to evade Beterbiev's counters more effectively. While Beterbiev was still landing hard shots, Bivol's superior footwork allowed him to minimize the damage and land clean jabs in return. It became clear that Bivol's tactical approach was starting to pay off. The fifth round was pivotal. Bivol returned to his strategy of landing combinations, rarely throwing a single punch. This approach kept Beterbiev from exploiting openings, as Bivol's follow-up punches would land before Beterbiev could counter. The round belonged to Bivol, although Beterbiev's power was still a looming threat. As the fight entered its second half, Bivol's strategy of combination punching and slick footwork continued to frustrate Beterbiev. In the sixth round, Bivol threw 2 and 3 punch combinations, using his head movement to avoid the worst of Beterbiev's counters. The fight was still close, but Bivol's work was cleaner, more accurate, and more effective. By the end of the sixth round, the fight was even, and the next 6 rounds promised to deliver fireworks. Bivol maintained his rhythm, throwing quick combinations that left Beterbiev with little opportunity to counter. Beterbiev, still dangerous, focused on body shots and power punches, but Bivol's movement and jab kept him at bay. Entering the 10th round, Bivol was ahead on most scorecards, and Beterbiev knew he needed a knockout or a dominant final 3 rounds to pull off a victory. Beterbiev came out with renewed energy, pressing forward and looking to land a decisive blow. His power was on full display as he mounted a furious attack in the first minute of the round. But Bivol, ever the tactician, held his ground, blocking most of Beterbiev's punches and countering with sharp jabs. As Beterbiev's pressure began to wane in the final minute of the 10th round, Bivol saw his opportunity. He landed a series of damaging jabs, followed by a combination of punches that left Beterbiev on the defensive. By the end of the round, it was clear that Bivol had weathered the storm and stolen the round with his precise and effective punching. The 11th round saw both fighters trading punches more freely, but a cut near Beterbiev's eye sustained in the previous round seemed to bother him. Bivol targeted the cut, forcing Beterbiev to cover up and reducing the frequency of his attacks. Bivol took advantage of the situation, landing more punches and further solidifying his lead on the scorecards. As the final round began, Beterbiev knew he needed a knockout to win. However, Bivol was in full control, using his reach and footwork to keep his distance and avoid any major damage. Beterbiev threw everything he had, but Bivol remained composed, sticking to his game plan and keeping Beterbiev at bay with his jab. By the time the final bell rang, it was clear who the winner would be. When the decision was announced, there was no surprise. Bivol's team began celebrating even before the scores were read, and rightfully so. With his unanimous decision victory, Bivol had become the undisputed world light heavyweight champion. In the post-fight interview, Bivol reflected on his journey. "I've always dreamt of this moment," he said. "I want to thank my team and Beterbiev. He's a great fighter, and I respect him. For Bivol, this victory was a culmination of years of hard work and dedication. Having already defeated Saul Canelo Alvarez, Bivol had proven that he could compete with the very best. But this win against Beterbiev solidified his status as the top fighter in the light heavyweight division. Bivol's performance was reminiscent of his fight with Malik Ziad earlier in the year, where he secured a 6-round knockout victory. In that fight, Bivol showed that his power was still very much intact, despite not having scored a knockout in several years. Against Ziad, Bivol controlled the fight from start to finish, landing a rapid-fire combination in the 6th round that ended the contest. Bivol's win over Ziad was just a warm-up for the much-anticipated clash with Beterbiev, which had been postponed due to an injury to Beterbiev's knee. When the fight was finally rescheduled, fans were eager to see how the two Russian powerhouses would match up, and they were not disappointed. From the opening bell, Bivol set the pace, using his footwork and jab to keep Beterbiev at a distance. Beterbiev, known for his knockout power, struggled to land clean punches